Alright then, I suppose this is where I introduce myself. Hello, and welcome. My name is John. I am a graduate of the University of Washington, Seattle, with a major in psychology. Currently, I'm a student at a Baptist seminary working on an MDiv, a Master's of Divinity degree, with a focus on Johannine literature. And my long-term educational plan or goal is to receive a PhD in Christian theology, with the goal of becoming, of course, a biblical scholar, something along those lines. And I am part of a local church plant where I preach regularly. And of course, there is this online ministry as well. So, some things about my personal life that may be worth mentioning. I am putting the finishing touches on an RV style wooden carport, after which I plan on building a house. Nothing too fancy or large, but it should keep me busy for some time to come. So, on top of that, I also tend to travel to South Korea quite regularly for both personal and ministerial reasons, however the Spirit leads. So, yes, life is pretty busy. It is considerably busy, but also very fulfilling at the same time. Now, before actually talking about the Barzebedee Project itself, I want to mention that my previous YouTube ministry was suspended for reasons that were never disclosed to me. Honestly, even today, not sure what happened or what went wrong, but I am now back with a new channel, and this time with a more specific biblical focus. So as a result, going forward, I'm going to be a bit more cautious about potential issues such as things like copyright, specific content, and of course, controversial, touchy subject matter. So please bear with me on that. With that said, Barzebedee, which means son of Zebedee, is a reference to the Apostle John. The goal of this project, the Barzebedee Project, then is to focus primarily on John's biblical collection, his writings, which includes the Gospel of John, of course, his letters, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd John, and John's Apocalypse, aka also known as Revelation. The reason being, of course, is because of how immensely important John's writings are to Christian theology, our faith, and of course Christian living. Because without John's contributions, of course, as a Holy Spirit inspired writer, much of what we must know and what we must understand would not be possible. Okay, in terms of methodology, there are two important points I want to make about this section. First, as you may be aware, I am an aspiring biblical scholar, so most, if not all, scriptural passages that will appear in forthcoming sermons and messages will be translated by myself from the reconstructed Greek/Hebrew. Now, you may be wondering, why even do self-translations in the first place? Well, on one hand, many scholars do this regularly. When you're looking at major commentaries by theological giants such as, say, Grant Osborne or Edward Klink, they often provide their own translations because of the limitations of transferring meaning from one language to another. Now, with that said, chapter and verse numbers, of course, will be provided, which means you can cross-reference your own preferred English translation if you would like to do that. And as a friendly reminder, there is no perfect translation. All translations, they lose something during this process, something significant, things like symbolism, meaning, cultural references, emotion, tone, and the list goes on. This is especially true for Hebrew poetry, which is notorious, very, very difficult to deal with, but I'm up to the challenge. And of course, there is also the issue of copyright, looking at the legality, all that legal stuff. Many translations are very strict on usage, on terms of usage, especially in public situations, such as social media contexts. And because quoting and referencing specific passages, they are usually a huge nightmare to deal with, particularly when it comes to, let's say, receiving publisher permission. These two reasons give me quite a bit of pause. So, anyways, on to my second point. The plan is to implement visual aids in the messages and sermons to come, such as drawings. For example, let me show you what I mean. Alright, so please give me a moment while I get ready. Alright, so dualistic symbols. These symbols are an important feature of John's style. This is what he does. So imagine that this coin here is a certain aspect of biblical reality, John's reality that he would like us to know. On one side is light, on the other is darkness. So John, if you're a perceptive reader, has many other coins, such as sight and blindness, truth, falsehood, the physical and the spiritual, life versus death, and many more. So these are everywhere. So hopefully these visual aids will help reinforce important points John, the author, is trying to make. Anyways, if you made it this far, you should have a pretty good idea of who I am at this point and what this channel is about. So thank you very much for your time, and I look forward to sharing Johannine content with you very soon. Until next time, take care and God bless.